Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome to another podcast here, and welcome to another brilliant preview video. We've done La Liga and now it's time to unveil the Champions League groups for this coming Champions League campaign, and we have two special guests on again today. We've got Alex, the Real Madrid insider, who we had in the La Liga podcast, but today we have a grand debut appearance for the only Barcelona chief in Spain. It's Barca Chief, and he's going to be giving his thoughts on Barcelona's group today, and Alex will be giving his views on Real Madrid. We're going to be having a look at the groups in general a bit later on, having a look at some of the teams involved in this year's Champions League, and having a look at what that's in store for us. So let's get on with it, and let's get on with the questions. So, Barca Chief, we've looked at the group. We've got Paris Saint-Germain, Ajax and Apoel Nicosia. Quite a range of different teams there, different strengths, different weaknesses. Of course, you've got the financial power of PSG, the brilliant football of Ajax, and we're not quite sure what to make of Apoel. So what are your views in general on the group in Barcelona's group this year?
It's not an easy group. It's not a difficult group. You have the French champions, the Dutch champions, and you have Apoel, so there isn't much to worry about. We might face some problems when we go to France, some problems like last year when we go to Amsterdam. But all in all, I don't think we have to worry about this group. We'll do just fine.
Chief, in terms of, obviously, PSG are a very special side, up and coming in Europe. Is there any players or any of the teams, in particular that you would look at and say, that's probably a danger to us in this group, they can really affect us? You look at Ibrahimovic, obviously, coming back to Barcelona. Could that have some sort of impact on this group?
You always need to worry about players of PSG. They have some great talents. Ibrahimovic is there, and we all know he's a great player. All in all, PSG have something to prove. They want to qualify, and they probably will. They want to prove that they can make it in Europe, and they believe this year is their chance.
So all in all, looking at the different strengths of this group and the Barcelona side that we've already seen in a few games this season, how would you rate your confidence going into this Champions League campaign? Are you confident that we can get out of this group and really make a statement in the Champions League this season?
I'm very confident of getting out of this group, because no matter who our opponent is, we're always confident, being Barcelona, to get out of any group.
In terms of PSG and Ajax as well, they're no pushovers. We're not going to go in there and just lie down, and we're not going to be able to stroll the ball about and just walk in there and win the game. So in terms of the teams we have got, they will test us a bit. They will give us a bit of a push to go and get through the groups. Is that a positive looking at it?
I think this group will be a great preparation state for Barcelona. The team is building up. You need some strong competition. You need some weak competition. You need to understand what you're capable of, and this group will provide that.
So obviously, you think you'll get out of the group. How do you rate Barcelona's chances in terms of the rest of the competition? Do you think there's possible winners in there? What are your expectations going into this season under Luis Enrique's Barcelona?
Well, it's too early to predict how the team will perform this year. However, the squad we currently have is capable of winning the Champions League. The fact that we have the best attack in the world and possibly one of the best midfields makes us confident contenders for the title. I have complete faith in what Luis Enrique is trying to do. And the main objective is keeping the players fit, and I'm sure he's going to do that. Because seeing how the team is pressing lately against opponents makes you feel that this team will sure regain its status as best in the world.
So if I was going to push you and say, look, Chief, I'm not giving you any excuses here. Give me a round in which Barcelona will get to. What is your prediction? If I had to nail you down to a certain round, what would you give me?
In any case, this team should be in the semifinals. No matter what, it should be in the semifinals. There are no excuses this year. Luis Enrique wants to prove himself. The players, especially Messi and Iniesta, feel the need to make it up to the fans. And you can sense that from their quotes. Every player on the team has something to prove. And that's the beauty of this season.
Looking aside from Barcelona then, other sides, of course, there's some very, very strong sides in Europe this season. Chelsea have strengthened their side. Bayern Munich, of course, need to come back from what happened last season. Real Madrid, the reigning champions. What side would you look at and say they've got a real chance of going for it? What's sort of your favourites in this tournament, and who do you expect to go a long way?
I think Chelsea have a great chance this year. Bayern always have a great chance, regardless of the fact that they seem shaky. They are always good. Atletico are just as good, if not even better than the others. Manchester City have something to prove. They want to get rid of this always fading in Europe reputation.
Again, Chief, I'm not letting you off lightly here. I want one name, one club who you're looking out for, who you believe will be going the furthest in this competition. Who is your pick?
My number one contender remains Bayern as I see it. Pep was criticized a lot, especially after the defeat against the champions. He has a great team now, he has a great striker, he has a good midfield, he obviously improved his defense. And finally, he's Guardiola, so you don't count him out no matter what. But remember, to me, we have the most intelligent midfield and attack in the world. If a correct link-up is created between these guys up front, we will witness the most entertaining football in recent years.
So welcome now to Alex, of course, the Real Madrid insider on Twitter. Real Madrid drawn a group with Basel, Liverpool and Ludogorets. Of course, Basel caused Chelsea some problems last season. Liverpool 5 times European champions and Ludogorets a fear of the unknown, really. What do you make of Real Madrid's group in this year's Champions League?
Relatively, it's an easy group. Probably Liverpool the only ones that can cause us some trouble. Especially the magical Anfield. It's a great stadium. Basel, however, were a pain in the butt for Chelsea last year, and they managed to beat them. But at the same time, they had Mohamed Salah doing all the work, so I'm not sure how good they are right now. Ludogorets, on the other hand, are in the Champions League for the first time in their history. After an incredible effort from their centre back yesterday, who was able to save 2 penalties in the shootouts. But honestly, I've never heard of them before, and I really don't think they'll be much of a trouble for us. So I think it's kind of an easy group, and hopefully we'll gain the top spot.
So with the teams you've been drawn against in this group, what team would you say, is the most dangerous? Do you think Liverpool, for instance, you've spoke about them already. Is it the trip to Anfield which is the most daunting? Does that pose the most problems to Real Madrid in this group?
I think I'm worried just about Liverpool, especially when we're playing them away. Even though they've lost Suarez this summer, they brought in probably 8 players and they have a really decent squad, which almost won the Premier League last season. So they're not an easy opponent at all. It would be nice to get our revenge from them, though, after they trashed us a few years back. So I'm hoping for the best.
So, of course, Real Madrid being, the champions, you won it last year. You're very confident, of course, of getting out of this group. Do you think you can get ahead of Liverpool and possibly avoid maybe a Basel upset?
Yeah, of course. I mean, getting out of this group should be nothing for the European champions. We should easily get 12 points from playing Basel and Ludogorets home and away. And I think we'll get the 3 points from Liverpool. So that's 15 points. But I'm not quite sure what will happen at the Anfield. 15 points is enough to go through as a group leaders, I guess. It won't be difficult at all, I guess.
So, given your confidence of getting out of the group, what would your chances be of the knockout stages? How far do you expect Real Madrid to go? What stage would you expect them maybe to get to in this competition?
With this squad, I really think Real Madrid can go to at least the semi-finals, but I'm not quite sure about reaching the final or winning it this year, because it's going to be really, really hard, especially that Barcelona have a good squad, Atletico have a good squad, Bayern have a really good squad, Chelsea have a really good one, so it's going to be hard. So I'd say we'll reach the semi-finals.
Apart from Real Madrid then, what team do you feel can go on in this competition, who's strengthened this summer and is, expected to go on and maybe lift the Champions League trophy in your eyes? Who's the team who you think, that's my pick to maybe go a bit further than usual? What's your favourite view on that?
Well, to be quite unbiased, I think I'd go with Chelsea. They have a really good squad. They have they have a substitute for each position on the pitch, and Mourinho is really dying to get his I don't know, third Champions League. So why not? I think Chelsea. I'd go with Chelsea.
So you're actually tipping Chelsea for the title itself, not Real Madrid?
I'd say Real Madrid, but nobody has done it before, winning the Champions League twice in a row. I'm not saying we have a bad squad. It's a great squad, but it's a really difficult task to do, especially that nobody had ever done it before. So yeah, I'd go with Chelsea.
So there are the views of the Chief and also Alex on Real Madrid and Barcelona. Just taking a look at some of the other draws and the groups. Atletico paired with Juventus. That looks a potentially tough group with the Olympiacos and Malmo in it. I think Atletico will get out of that group, and I think they can actually top it. I think they've got enough to get past Juventus. Real Madrid, of course, you've spoken about. Benfica, Zenit, Leverkusen, Monaco looks a nice group for all of those teams. They'll all think they've got a chance of getting out of Group C. Group D is a difficult one for Arsenal. They've got Dortmund, Galatasaray and Anderlecht all to compete with, but I do expect Arsenal and Dortmund to get out of that one. Prandelli's Galatasaray, no doubt, there will be out to prove a point. Group E, Bayern, Man City, CSK, exactly the same as last year with the addition of Roma. A very difficult group there, probably the most difficult group out of all of them. Manchester City, as Chief rightly put it, are looking to make a statement, and they may well do it by getting out of that group and possibly, maybe even topping it, but they've got to get past Bayern first. We've spoken about Barcelona. The easiest group for me is Chelsea's. They've got Schalke, Sporting and Maribor, three teams who they'll feel they got confidence in beating and reaching the knockout stages once again. And finally in Group H, Porto, Shakhtar, Bilbao and Abate. That's going to be an interesting one to see Athletic get on in that group. I'd hope to see them get out of it. I think we can make it 4 teams from 4 in Spain making it to the knockout rounds, and I would love to see that happen. So thanks for watching this, guys. Thank you to Alex and Chief for getting involved here today and giving their views on Barcelona and Real Madrid. We've also had a quick look at some of the other groups in the Champions League. It looks like it's going to be a brilliant tournament. The Champions League always brings magic to the table, no matter who's involved and no matter who gets through. So hope you enjoyed the tournament. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. For more Barcelona podcasts and Spanish football podcasts, please subscribe to this channel. It's growing and growing and growing, and thank you very much for watching. As always, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'm sure that I'll be back soon with my friends, with my guests, for more podcasts here. Thanks very much.